In today's video, we're going to be heading outside into the garage and the yard and update this old Rainbird electronic sprinkler controller with this brand new Rachio 3 smart sprinkler controller. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to Tech with Brett, where I help tech work for you. So I've been wanting a smart sprinkler controller for a while, so I saw this on sale. I decided to go out and pick it up. Now this model is a 12 zone edition. I also saw on their website that there's an 8 zone and a 16 zone as well, and I'll leave the best price I can find in the description below. Now some of the big benefits of having a smart sprinkler system: it's really easy to use through the application. Right now with my old system I have over here, it took a little bit to get set up, and then it's not very intuitive to use. Whereas for here, you have smart schedules for remote watering, so I can easily water from my app or from my Google Assistant or whatever it is. And then also the biggest benefit is this knows about the weather adjustment. So it rained the other day and then my sprinklers came on in the morning, and that's just wasting water. So this is really cool that it is able to do that. One other thing that I really like about this is it's compatible with Google Assistant, Amazon's Assistant, HomeKit, as well as SmartThings and IFTTT. So pretty much every smart home platform is covered here, which is really nice to see. And then here on the back, it says EPA WaterSense labeled products. So save 50% on your outdoor watering bill with trusted technology. You can go to rachio.com/rebates for that. So let's go ahead and get this unboxed. Now, before we get this set up, the 3 requirements that you need to have is you do need to have a irrigation system already. You need to have Wi-Fi nearby, and you also need to have a smartphone. So if you have those things, this should work for you. So here it is. You see up to 12 there, and then you have a forward, back, play, pause, and a stop there at the top with that button. And on the device, that's pretty much it. No other real things there, and that is where we're going to install the system there. Here you get a manual with a warranty. And then here we have a power cable. And then here we have some anchors and screws to be able to get it installed. So let's go ahead and get this set up. Here in the manual, it tells us step by step exactly what we need to do. So here are all the included parts. You will need a screwdriver, hammer, as well as a drill to install this. And then if you need help, there is customer support. So the first thing is we're going to take off the old controller, and here it says to take a picture of the wiring inside that we'll reference later, and then remove the old controller from the wall. Here I'm going to take a picture of the existing wiring. This was very handy to have later. Rachio actually offers free recycling of your old controller, so you can do that by emailing them at support@rachio.com. So next we're going to mark the screw locations and screw in the Rachio 3. So you could do a 3/16 pilot hole. Here we're just going to be drilling right into the stud. And then they also have a template here at the back of the guide. And the faceplate on the Rachio 3 is magnetic, so it just comes off like that. All right, so number 4 is to connect our wires. So the C is for common wire, and then here we have these zones. So this again is 1 through 16. We're just gonna match them up what was on our old controller. So to get these out, we're just going to pop them up, and then they pull out there. So purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. That was pretty simple. Now I'm just going to plug in the common wire by pushing it in here. And there you can see it locks in. And then I'm going to do this with the other wires. Now I need to cut this a little bit so that I can expand it over there, but I'm gonna keep them in the same place, so I easily just put them in 1 through 6. All right, that was pretty simple. Now you do also have the option for a master valve as well as sensor wires. I'm not using any of those today. And now we're going to insert the power connector upward into the jack. Just like that. Then we're gonna plug it in. Next, we're going to head into the Rachio app. This is available for Android and iOS devices. So here I'm going to select don't have an account, and I'm going to create that real quick. Okay, the account has been created. Next, I'm going to add a controller. Here it is asking to take a picture, so we're going to allow all the time. Next, it needs your address so it knows where it's being installed. So now we're going to add that location, and then we're going to scan the barcode on the Rachio 3. Got it. Now, before I even typed in anything, it's giving me this error saying it detected a problem with the Wi-Fi on my device. So it's giving me two options. One is to use another Wi-Fi device to connect to the Rachio to set up Wi-Fi, or you can use your computer. So come to find out, if you have a newer phone like the Galaxy S20 that I have here, or a newer iPhone, you aren't able to use your phone right now. You need to go to the use a computer option and head to this website on the computer to finish the setup. So let's go to that now. Here I'm at the website. So if you do have a newer iPhone or iPad or Samsung phone, you're going to have this issue. So here it says this has actually been solved in a newer version of the Rachio 3. So hopefully when you get this, you either have that or you have an older device. It says the good news here is that you can easily do this if you have an older smartphone. So I'm just going to go ahead and solve this here. My wife's Mac was available, so I grabbed that. We're going to go into the Wi-Fi here and go to Rachio. And then here it brought up the airport utility. It's gathering information about the network. And then here, choose the Wi-Fi name. And then the accessory name is just the name of the Rachio 3. We're going to select next, and now it is connecting to the network. It's now showing that it completed on the Mac here, so we're going to select done. Now we're going to head back to our phone. So here you can see a progress of the connection, and the app changed as soon as the Rachio 3 connected to the network. So here you can see that the blue line is indicated it is connected to the Wi-Fi. Once that is complete, we can now add the magnetic panel on the front. And now in the application, it jumped right into Weather Intelligent Plus activated. So it has now aggregated data from 300,000 plus weather stations, radar, satellites, and other sources for hyperlocal weather with unmatched accuracy and stability. I can't even say all those words, but that's what it does. And weather conditions predictions are localized to a 36-foot radius. That's crazy. All right, success. You will now name your controller and set up your zones. Zone information helps Rachio create optimized watering schedules unique to the yard. So we're going to set that up now. So here we're just going to name this, and to keep it simple, we're going to name it Rachio 3. Sounds good? Next. All right, so here it is showing us a forecast right at the top, so we can check the weather in here, which is really nice. It's right there. As we scroll down here, we can see the current usage that we have. So we can see actual usage and scheduled usage. Here we have Lawn Smart, so it's going to teach you about watering, teach you about overseeding, and all kinds of other stuff there. Okay, so that's what you see on the home page here. If we select back, it's going to give us the option to choose other controllers if we have set them up. But here we only have the one controller. And then you also have a settings here. So you can go in, adjust your profile, notifications, all that type of stuff. So we're going to head into the devices here. So we're going to go to the Rachio 3, and the first thing I'm going to do is update that firmware. So here I'm going to go into the controller settings, and I'm going to go all the way to the bottom and tap technical info. And then here I have firmware, and I'm just going to tap on it a few times or just wait, and here it says update now. So I'm going to do that first, and then we're going to set up our zones. Now let's do a quick run to make sure that these zones are set up properly. So here in the plus at the bottom, I can go through and choose the zones that I want to run. I then have the option to set them up for a certain amount of minutes, and then I can select next, and then I can just do a quick run. Now, when I ran this test, my sprinkler zones were completely wrong. With my first test, I have all the wrong zones. I didn't notice that the numbers down here in the very bottom are backwards from the new system. So I'm gonna refix that and then head back out there. So double check where your numbers are. So this is pretty easy. You're just gonna pull on these and pull them out. All right, let's try that again. Test the system. I'm just gonna hit the plus down here. Front yard, next, and we're gonna do just 1 minute here. Run. Oh, much better. Now that we have the zone set to the right place, I'm gonna go through and set up each zone. Now the easiest way to do this is in the app, you select the zones down here at the bottom, and then up here at the top right, you select menu, and then you have the option to set up zones. So this is gonna take you through exactly each zone to get it set up properly. So here it says go outside, and we're gonna gather information about each zone. So I'm gonna select next, and here it's showing me the 12 different zones that I could choose from. I've started to kind of go through this already, but we're just gonna start with the first one here at the front yard. So here it says let's set up the front yard, And if you don't want to use this zone for whatever reason, you do have the option to disable the zone down here in the bottom, but we're going to select next. And now first we're going to test the zone. So when I hit test zone, it's gonna turn it on, make sure it's the right one, and then we're gonna go from there. So I'm gonna hit test zone. There you can see it turned on, no problem. And here it's doing a timer that it's gonna run for 60 seconds to make sure everything's working. And this did work, so I'm gonna select yes. And then here we can give it a name. We could also add a picture. So I just select the picture icon here. And now that we have a picture, I can select OK. And it gives you the option to crop it. And then I hit crop. And now we have a picture of the front yard. So we're gonna select next. And now you can choose what type of grass. We're gonna do cool season grass. Here you can choose what type of heads it is. So here we have fixed spray heads. Next, and then here you can choose the type of soil. I don't actually know what type of soil I have. I do have a lot of clay, but we're just gonna go ahead and stick with loam. And then here you can choose how much sun this gets. So this does get lots of sun. It's right here in the sun all day long. The shade is more on that side of the house. Next, we choose what type of slope is in this zone. So flat, slight, moderate, or steep. And here's a slight slope, so I'm gonna go a slight. And then there we have set up the first zone. So I'm gonna go through and set up each of these zones, but before I do that, here I'm gonna head into zone 8. I don't have a zone 8, so I'm just gonna hit disable zone, and I can quickly do that through 9, 10, 11, 12. I really only needed 6 zones, but it's nice to have more in case I ever change up my zone. So there I can go through and disable the ones I don't want, and I'm gonna go through and make sure everything else looks great. All right, it says we are almost finished. Now the last step is to create a schedule for our lawn. I'm actually just going to select finish later, and then we're gonna go back and do that. So now at this point, I can go in and I can look at all of my zones. I can see all my pictures here. It looks like I do need to go back and add a picture for the backyard. So I'm just gonna come in here, select edit, and I can quickly add the photo right here. Now looking back at all of the zones, that looks really good. That's what I want my yard to look like. So now that we have all the zones, let's go ahead and add the schedule, but let's find some shade first. To create our schedule, all we need to do is now go to the calendar. So here in the calendar, you have schedules. So we're gonna select schedules, and now we're going to add a schedule. So typically I water 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then I have different times for each section. So in here, it's giving me a few different options. So which schedule is best for you? We have fixed, where we can customize and consistent, or we can do flex monthly, where it's smart and predictable, or we have the option for flex daily. So expert watering, zones are watered independently based on weather and zone settings. Watering frequency changes dynamic from day to day, requires advanced zone configuration. So if that's something that you're really into, you can really make this be just a fully smart automated sprinkler system, so it just kind of does it itself. Or here you have the flex monthly, watering frequency and duration automatically updates every month to adjust for seasonal changes. That might be really important here in Utah. Or you have fixed, good for gardens, new sod, or areas with strict watering restrictions. Weather intelligence can be added to save water. So a lot of cool options there. So I'm gonna start with the monthly flex plan. Just every month changes a little bit. So it has good savings, but then it gives me a bit more control. So let's start with that. And here we can choose what ones we want to have watered. So I don't want the garden boxes to be included in any of these. And then I'm also going to turn off the broken zone for now. I may come back later and fix that, and I'll have to go and readjust. And then you can see the other disabled zones down here. And so yeah, I just really have 4 zones right now. Select next, and then name your schedule. We'll just call this the monthly sprinkler schedule, letting me know it's the one that changes monthly. So now we have the different days we would want to water. We could have any days, it would just choose specific days, or even odd. Since I was already doing specific days, I'm gonna stick with that, and then I'll change it as things go on. So here we were watering Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now here we have the option for timing. So you have end before sunrise, start after sunset, end before a specific time or start at a specific time. So I have my Mimo electric lawnmower go out until 5 a.m. So I want to make sure that it doesn't start before then. So I'm gonna make 5 a.m. the time to start. And then here we can choose specific days. Choose a start and end date for this schedule. So I could choose to start tomorrow, and then right now I could have it never end. So you could set specific times, but right now I'm just gonna say just keep watering. So now we have something called Smart Cycle. So Smart Cycle prevents runoff by breaking up watering time, allowing water to soak in the soil before adding more. So you have 3 options. You can manually cycle and soak. You could do Smart Cycle or no cycle and soak. So I'm gonna try out Smart Cycle, see how that goes. And next we have the option to add the Rachio Weather Intelligence. So here we could have it skip when it rains. We can have it skip if it's gonna freeze, skip if there is high winds, or skip saturation. So I'm gonna keep those all on. The other day it was super windy, so watering when it's windy, it's really not gonna be effective. And like I said before, if it rains, I really don't want it to water in the morning because it just rained. So we're gonna keep all of those on. And now we can choose the duration of watering. So here you have front yard watering, 18 minutes, front yard side watering, that's a bit more rotary. So I'm gonna increase the time on that a little bit. And then here you have the side strip and the backyard. So we're gonna increase the backyard a tiny bit there. It does get a lot of shade, but there you go. You can choose exactly which one is watering, and then you could even change which one goes first. So maybe you don't want it to go in this order, you can adjust the order right here. And it has now created our schedule. So there you can see if you have multiple schedules, you want different sprinklers to run differently, you can come in here, see all those schedules, and you can come in and adjust it or delete it there on the bottom. So now our sprinkler system is fully set up with the Rachio 3. So adding the zones, creating the schedule is the main thing that we would want to do. But the next part that you can do to really fine-tune your sprinkler system or learn about your sprinkler system is to go in and create what is called a yard map. So you can go in and choose where each zone is, and then you can also label where all of your sprinklers are. I found that super handy to do because I don't really know every little part about my sprinkler. Sometimes I can't even find where the sprinkler heads are, so it was really cool to be able to go and create this yard map to be able to do that. So let me show you how you can create your own yard map. So if we go under the More section and then we head to Yard Map, here it's going to pull up a Google Maps image of the top portion of your yard, and here you can see I have already started to section out parts of my yard, and I've also added different heads. So I have rotary heads, or I have constant spray heads there. But now let's go ahead and adjust these. So I've already gone through, done the front yard, the side yard. Let's go ahead and do the side strip. So here for the side strip, I'm going to first draw the zone. And so I'm just going to zoom in on that portion. You're gonna tap to add a point. And if you add it in the wrong place, you just click and hold, and then you can move it where you want. And then you can go and you can click on the rest of the zone, and you can close off the zone like that. So that zone looks good. We're gonna hit done, and now we're going to add the nozzles. So this had 8 different nozzles, and then you can choose the nozzle type. So here I could do fixed spray head, the rotor head, but these were all fixed spray. So we're gonna choose that, and then I had 1, 2, oh, looks like you can't add them if they're too close together. So and then if I want to reposition these, I just hold down and I can do that as well. So if they're too close together, you can put one over here on the side, and then you can hold down and drag it to the middle there. All right, so that portion is all done. So I'm going to select done and done again. And now I have set up that side of the home. If you want to clear a zone, you do have the option to just select clear here, and that will remove the zone. So I need to switch my garden box and my backyard zone. So highly recommend doing the zone setup before you go in here and do the yard map so that you know everything is correct. One thing I really like about the yard map feature is here it is showing how many square feet is in that zone. So if you're doing fertilizer or something like that, you could quickly come in here and find out how many square foot that is so that you know what you need to put down, or you just know how much water you need to put out on that portion of the lawn. So it's really cool that that is right there, and you can see how many sprinkler heads you have there as well. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go through, fix all my yard map, let this run for a few days, and I'll come back and I'll let you know more about what I've learned about the sprinkler system and how it's worked so far. All right, now that we have our home set up, we have our zones all here, and we have our schedule, let's go ahead and add this to our different assistants so that we can control this by voice. So for Google Home, I'm gonna head into the Google Home application. Here I'm gonna select the plus, and then I'm going to select set up a device, and here I have something already set up. So I'm gonna choose that one. And then in here, we're going to search, and then I'm going to search for Rachio. There it is. We're going to tap on here, and then we are going to sign into our account. Now that we are signed in, it's asking which controller we want to add. So here I have the Rachio 3. I'm going to select allow. And now I'm going to go back to the home page here of the Google Home application, and I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and here you can see that I now have Rachio 3. I can tap on here, and now I could just start the sprinklers in the app just by tapping the play button. And now it has actually started the sprinklers in the front yard. And then I can tap stop to stop it. And I'm going to create a new room for this. I'm going to add it in the garage just because that's where the Rachio 3 is. So now that that has been added, we have a bunch of different commands that we can use. And now if I want to add it to Amazon Assistant, I just go into the Amazon app, select menu, go down here to skills and games, and then I'm going to search for Rachio. And then here I found the skill, so I'm going to enable to use, and then I will need to verify my account. And then here it is asking which controller we want to add. Again, we're just adding the Rachio 3. All right, so now that has been linked, so we're gonna go back, and then we're gonna go to devices. Okay, so it looks like in the Amazon application, it actually doesn't show up as one of the devices. You now just have the ability to turn on and off the sprinklers by voice. To add our Rachio 3 into SmartThings, we're gonna head into the SmartThings app. We're gonna select the plus, we're gonna select devices, and then we're gonna search for Rachio. And then we're going to tap here and select irrigation, and then sign in with our Rachio account, and then we'll choose the room that we want it to be added to. Once it has been added, here you can see that in the garage, I have all my different zones. And so I can easily open up one of these. I can turn on the zone. It will then run for 3 minutes. And then you can add this into all types of automations with your other SmartThings devices. For Apple HomeKit, I'm then going to go to the Rachio app here on my iPad. Once I log in, I'm then going to select more and then controller settings. And then down here at the bottom, we have the option for HomeKit. So here it is giving me my HomeKit code. So I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to head to the home application. I'm going to select the plus to add a new device, and then I'm going to select add accessory. And then I'm going to select I don't have a code or cannot scan, and then I'm going to select enter code manually. Once I have placed that code in, here it's giving me the option of what accessory I want to choose, and now it is adding Rachio to my home. Now that it's been added, here you can see that I can add it to a room and call it the yard. And then here you have all the zones. I could adjust the names here, but we're just gonna leave them as what they are now. And now if I go to my home and we go to the yard, here you can see I have the Rachio 3, and when I tap on it, I then have the option to adjust the zones. So I can force press these and turn them on or off. So it's really nice interface here. And then here it's gonna run for 3 minutes. That's the default when you do turn on a smart sprinkler from the application. Now that we have our smart assistant set up, let's start by talking about Google Assistant and watering your lawn with the Rachio 3. So here I have a portable Google Home speaker, and if I want to start watering, all I need to do is ask Google to start watering. Start watering.
Sure, starting Rachio 3.
Okay, and now it's watering. Okay, Google, stop watering.
Okay, stopping Rachio 3.
So glad that worked, stop watering. So that's one way you can start watering with the Rachio 3. There's water all over the lens. Anyway, the other way is you can tell it what zone you want to water. So I could say, hey Google, start watering front side yard.
Alright, starting Rachio 3 in front side yard.
Okay, so this wasn't spraying me as much, but it did start watering over here. Okay, Google, stop watering.
Okay, stopping Ratio 3.
Now, when you do start watering like that for the specific zone, it actually set to a 3-minute timer. So it's just gonna water for 3 minutes and then turn off. Now, right now, there is actually more integration and more things you can do with the Google Assistant, but it's currently broken with Google Assistant. And I don't know why that is. So like if I wanted to water the front yard for 10 minutes, I should be able to say that, but it's currently not supported. Hey Google, water the front yard for 10 minutes.
Alright, 10 minutes. And that's starting now.
And so that just set a 10-minute timer. That didn't water anything. So let's head to the backyard and check out what we can do with Amazon's Assistant. So for this demo, I'm just going to be using the Amazon app on my phone, but if you have an Echo speaker or something like that, you could do that as well. Now, Amazon does currently have the full integration working with Ratio. So you can ask it to water a specific zone, you can say by name, and you can ask it to water for a certain amount of time. So let's start by watering zone 3. Ask Ratio to water zone 3.
Please tell me which zone to run and how long to run it for.
Zone 3 for 1 minute.
Okay, zone number 3 is running for 1 minute.
All right, so back here you'll be able to see zone 3 is starting. It's going off back there. Now when a zone starts by voice, you can head back into the Ratio app and you can just look at the main app, and down here in the bottom corner you can actually see that it is currently running. So right there you can see it's running. I can tap on it, I can see which zone it's running, and I can pause and stop it right there. Or I can just let it run, and after that time is up, it will stop. So down here you can also see that I have a timer going, so it has 1 minute left until that zone is going to stop, and then it will just automatically stop. Now there also is the option where you can ask Ratio to set a 5-hour water delay. So if it's going to start watering, you could set the water delay because it's going to rain and then it won't water during that time. Or maybe you're having a barbecue and you want it to not water while you're having that barbecue. And so that's what the water delay would be for. So here, after the time is up, there it automatically stopped. So let's test one more watering and we'll just do the backyard here. Ask Ratio to water the backyard for 10 seconds.
Okay, zone number 5 is running for 10 seconds.
Got me. So this zone is currently running right now just for 10 seconds. So you could set for a long amount of time. It's really great. So if you wanted to water the front lawn or let the kids play in the sprinklers for 10 minutes, after 10 minutes, it would stop and you know it's time to come in. So it's really great that you do have that full integration where I can ask specific zones and specific times, or I could just say ask Ratio to start watering and then it will water, which is really nice. So that is integration with the Smart Assistants. Really hope that the Google Assistant integration gets fixed soon, but that is what to expect currently with the Ratio 3. Back at the controller, you do have some options to manually turn on your sprinkler system. So here you have a play, pause, forward and back, and a stop. So if you want to manually start watering, all you would need to do is press over, and that will select the zone down here, and then you can press play and it will start watering that zone. So once it finishes that manual watering for 3 minutes, it will then stop that zone and it won't carry on. If you wanted to run the full schedule, you would need to go into the application to be able to do that. Let me show you how that's done. So if I wanted to do a manual run of my schedule without going through and choosing each one of these, there's two options. One is I could go into the calendar and create a brand new schedule just for today where it ends today, but that's not really convenient. So I found the most useful way was to just head to the home, select the plus, and then over here you could choose what you want to water, but I'm just going to select schedules. I can choose that schedule and then it's going to start running and it will do the exact time that I've already set up. If I select the up next here, it's going to show you the progress of that current schedule. So here it's watering the front yard for 9 minutes. It's going to head to the front side backyard. It's then going to leave the 13-minute soak and it's going to go through that progress. And maybe I just want it to do the second half or something. I can come in here and I could go up next and then I can skip through and go to which part of the schedule I want it to run. So that's the easiest way to run your schedule without going through the process of creating a new schedule. Now, if I want to do a quick run without doing my full watering schedule, I can just select play. I can choose the zones I want to run. I'm going to select next, and then I can choose the specific times for this quick run. So let's say I just wanted to do a few more minutes there. You could go through and do all of that. and then I can select run right here, and it's going to go through and do a quick one without having to recreate a schedule or anything like that. Now let me show you a few more settings in the Rachio application. So first thing here on the home page, you'll see this Rachio Thrive notification. So this is a lawn care service that Rachio offers. Right now I'm not interested. I'm just going to select menu, and then down here I can select dismiss, and that will go away. So I've been using the Rachio for a week now, and down here you can see my usage. So there's all my usage. Right now I've saved 0 seconds of watering just because it really hasn't rained. It was supposed to rain today, but I've been watering and playing with this, so it didn't skip any schedule or anything like that. So here is the scheduled time that has run. So this other time is me just playing and using the app. If I select usage, now it's going to show me a breakdown of what zones have been watering the most. So this is where I can walk around and see which ones I maybe need to water a little bit more or a little less if it's too moist out there. And then down here you can see what days it watered and how much. So there's my normal schedule where it watered for 1 hour and 16 minutes on both of those days. So that's what the usage looks like here within the Rachio application. So now if we head to the More tab here at the back, we have a few other options. So I'm going to select on the controller settings, and in here we can adjust some of the things we've already changed, but right here you do have an option to adjust the brightness of the light here on the Rachio 3. So if you want a little light or a night light in your garage glowing, it actually does a pretty good job of lighting up the area a little bit. But I can also come in here and change it to a low bar, so it's not going to light up as much. And then here I can also turn off the light bar if you do not want to have the light on at all. So it's really nice that it has that ability in here. I kind of like the light, but we're going to try it on low for now. And then if you do want to share the Rachio application with somebody in your household, you can come in here to More, select Share Access, tap Share Access. So here you have 3 options. You can share complete access, limited access, and then you have the option for transfer ownership. I think this is really cool. Let's say you're gonna move. You can easily transfer all of what you have done to the new owner, so they automatically know where all the sprinklers are, and it would just be so convenient to have. That's something you could definitely up the cost of the house if you have this already all set up. So something to think about there. But that is pretty much all the settings you would want to know about. And then lastly, you do have this option for standby mode. So when the winter comes, I'm going to turn this on. It's just going to keep Rachio in standby mode until I'm ready to turn it on in the spring. And that way I don't have to turn off the schedules or delete any of the schedules. I do have that option right there. I've been using the Rachio 3 now for more than a week, and I would say I'm very impressed with all that it can do. I now know more about my sprinkler system than I ever did before. It was so nice to be able to go into the yard map, choose exactly where the heads were and the different zones. So now if I need to adjust something, I can easily find the head. If I need to aerate, I can easily show, hey, this is where my sprinkler heads are. And so it's just so great that I now have all of that information logged into the Rachio application so I can easily access it at any time. I need to do a bunch of landscaping in the backyard, and so I at least know now where my sprinklers are, what I need to adjust, and where I can move them and everything. So it's really nice that I have this. And then the other part of it is being able to instantly water if I want to. Having the option to control with voice assistant is really fun. I do wish the Google Assistant was fixed so that it was able to have those full time controls, but hopefully that will come over time. But then it's just really nice that it will know and learn about the weather, and it will automatically adjust the sprinkler system for that. Now, just using it, I haven't saved any water. Of course, it's only been a week. It really needs like a full summer's review of the sprinkler system. So let me know in the comments below if you want to see that, or hit the like button below if you want to see what it's like after a full summer with the Rachio 3. Quick update, it actually been really dry here in Utah for a while, so we hadn't received much rain, but over the weekend it rained pretty much nonstop on Saturday and Sunday. So I received a notification that my monthly sprinkler schedule would be skipped on the next watering. So on Monday morning, it did not water, and I came in here and it showed that I now have saved an hour and 25 minutes of watering because of the WaterSense technology, which is really cool. So after a long time, you can see how much this is going to save, and I didn't have to do anything. I could have gone in and turned it off, but it just automatically did that. So I'm really impressed with how that works. And so that is everything I've learned about the Rachio 3 in 1 week. Really, it's such an awesome product. I definitely didn't need to get the 12 zone model. I could have gone with the 8, but it is nice. I have the option to upgrade if I want to down the road. So if you are interested in picking up a smart sprinkler system, I can definitely recommend getting the Rachio 3. I still need to do a full review of what that's like, but that will probably take the whole summer to do a full review and seeing what it's like and all the things that I learn about it. Now, if you do have any further questions about the Rachio 3, please let me know in the comments below. I'll be using it all summer long, so I'm gonna be trying out things and tweaking the settings here and there so I can do my best to answer those. And if you would like to see more videos about my adventures out here in my yard, check out the videos over here on the side. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Okay, and now it's watering